Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome to my launch video for the July challenge for favorite color combinations. I'm using this beautiful intricate die by Simon Says stamp called Deborah. I'm also using the center cut flower background stamp, but I'm just going to pull out the center and use just this piece. I just want an impression from this die. I don't want to actually cut it. So what I'm going to do is take a piece of A2 size Neenah cardstock and I'm loading it up with my ATG tape runner. So there's plenty of tape on here and I've covered most of it. And then I'll take another piece of the same size and I'm going to adhere it to the first piece so that I have a double ply Neenah Solar White cardstock. Now I'm going to take my die and just place it in the center. I'm going to trim off the edges so it doesn't have to be exactly centered. And here's what I'm left with. So you can see it makes the impression, but it doesn't go through that second piece of cardstock, so everything is sticking, and now I have sort of a really pretty subtle background. I'm using a very inexpensive Fiskars trimmer. It has a wire down the center so I know exactly where I'm cutting it. Three sides of this die are pretty clean cut. You can see where the line is. I'm just going to trim it off right at the line. This last side, however, was not meant to be completely cut out, but I'm afraid of losing those little pieces, so I'm going to create a tiny little white border when I trim it on that side. Next, I'm going to work on my flower. I'm just going to use some VersaFine Black Onyx ink and stamp it onto some more Neenah cardstock. I'm going to clear emboss this so I have a nice raised, shiny image. And I'm going to use my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I have pink, carmine red, and scarlet red. So this is my favorite color combination, which is pink, red, and orange combined with black. So I'm going to leave quite a bit of white space on this flower just because I want the colors to stand out more. So I'm going to do pink all along the outside edge, and then I'm going to come in with some orange, which is called scarlet red, but it actually looks orange. And then I'll color the center with red. These markers have a very fine tip, so it's really easy to color this in. I'm going to cut out this flower, but it doesn't have a hard edge. It's got these dots. So I'm going to do my best to create kind of a white border around it using my scissors. So here's what I end up with. I'm going to add a couple of pieces of Scotch foam tape to the back, and then I'm going to adhere it to my white background. So I'm going to line up the lines of the flower with the lines of the background. It's pretty easy to line up. I forgot to remove the residual watercolor on top of the resist areas, so I smeared it a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and wipe up the rest with a tissue so it doesn't get worse. I'll adhere this to a Hero Arts note card, which is black on the outside, white on the inside. I'll put some tape runner on the back and I'm going to put it right up against the left edge so it leaves enough space to have my flower hanging off and stay within the A2 size. I have this Painted Friend sentiment die by Simon Says stamp, so I'm going to put some two-way glue on the back of this. When I went to position it, I realized that I should have rotated my flower about 45 degrees. It's kind of hard to tell right now. I thought, well, I'll just going to take it off. But it is really sticking there. So I decided, all right, I'm going to see if I can make the best of it. So I tried to position it, but it was lower than I wanted it to be. So you can see where it's kind of going under that one petal, and I didn't want it. I wanted it to be in between the petals right there where the F is. So I decided in the end that I really didn't like it, so I ripped it off. And it took me quite a bit of time. I was trying to be really careful, but this Scotch foam tape is very, very sticky. So it ended up ripping up a lot of my card, but I thought it was worth it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip off the Scotch foam that is on the back of my flower, and I'll put some new tape on it. Now when I put it on, you'll see that it's got that in between the petal where my F can go, so it's just a little bit rotated, and now I can put my friend there where I want it. I'll put the I have to add that separately, and then that will be my card for today. So even though I ripped it, it didn't show because I put the flower back on, but that is just me being a perfectionist. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.